So we come into the arena here. This is always a busy area for the horses, and at this level it's probably the first time they've run into a big main arena like this. So as they come through the gate, the horses will tend to bring their head up, put their ears a little bit, come a little bit off attention. So I've given them plenty of room in here to get to attention before they come to our title sponsors fence, the Fidelity Outperformance basket behind us. They come and jump over there. That's really a setup fence for them, and then they come round the corner here and down to these 3 fences in a straight line. Now there's the first fence here, this little round bucket, to the basket in the middle, to another one of these round buckets. There are lots of different ways you can jump this. There's a straight line up the centre, there's a slightly curving line on 3 strides, and then a slightly curving line, so you'd go slightly curving line here to the right and then slightly curving line to the left, but that obviously makes that distance slightly longer between those fences, so it's slightly more, you know, you'd have to be a little bit bolder to do that, but it puts you slightly squarer to the centre one. Or there's a way you can jump over this and go around the outside of that flower basket on the 4 strides, but then that definitely puts you outside of the flower basket. Again, you can finish up coming back over the last one. So lots of different ways to jump this, lots of different ways to tackle the question. I think the bulk of them will come straight up the centre, but it'll be interesting to see on Saturday morning.
This is one of those fences which does create a lot of question from the rider's point of view. I think that if I were to set a combination like this out in the arena at home, you'd find that the whole question would become far more simplified. And I think it's very important when we then as riders come and walk the course, and for me personally, when I come and walk the course, I will look at this as if this is just a set of show jumps going down the line here. And I will ride it as if it's a training exercise, a bit of fun for us at home. And that way you take away that mental pressure from trying to get a question that is perceived to be quite complicated. You are able to simplify it in your brain. And so for everybody watching here, when a rider comes to ride through this, I think you'll see the majority perhaps head straight. I think there's plenty of room in between the combinations to make it forgiving. And therefore I wouldn't see, I think at this stage, when the horses are getting more tired, trying to turn them and twist them and bend them through different lines makes it a lot harder for them. The best route here for rider and most certainly for the horse is to go straight.
I think providing you've got enough scope to make the distance in the centre, then I think straight line is always best. It's easier for the horses to understand, and let's face it, you know, none of us are fantastic, and actually we look for our horses to help us out. They're the ones that have got to decide how to jump the fence and to make the height of the fence and things, and so actually the more simple you can make it for them, the better. And I would agree with you that it's a straight line exercise.
I think it's important here to make sure that you go out wide enough so you can have a good line with good impulsion down to the fence. And if you get this right, I believe it will take you through.
I think some of the fences, that some of the people that might be affected by this are the ones that have got that little minute marker bleeper going there, and they're down on the clock. And they're trying to make up those few seconds, and that's when this starts to become more difficult. Yeah.